Tonight from 20th and Blake, the Rockies back in action as their homestand continues against the San Diego Padres, the first of three against San Diego. And good evening, everybody. With George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. We're out of the booth. We're out in the bullpen, a familiar place for George Frazier.
I'm home.
You're
This
home,
feels
exactly.
Good.
Now, folks, it is okay. It's a bullpen phone. It is okay if this phone rings. It has just been ringing a little bit too early in the evening for the Rockies' likes.
And too often. I think that's the too early and often. That's not what you like down in the bullpen. You like a little later, and then it can ring all it wants to. But you're absolutely right. The Rockies' bullpen is thrown more innings than anybody, it seems like, in baseball. The starters haven't been going deeper in the games. They're first right now in baseball for least amount of innings pitched per start. That has to change in order for this bullpen to survive when it comes August and September.
Well, one of the moves the Rockies made in the offseason was to acquire Jeremy Guthrie. Guthrie, the last 4 years, 3 times, he's gone well over 200 innings. In his last outing, unfortunately, he couldn't get out of the 4th inning. They need a standard operating procedure lane from Jeremy Guthrie.
Yeah, and I really think that last start, throw it under the trash can. He sat, remember, they scored 6 runs. He had to sit in the dugout for almost 45, 50 minutes to come back out again. I think you'll see more of what you saw in Houston. And it couldn't come at a better time right now for this bullpen and for this ball club to see him go out and give you 7 innings tonight, and maybe even more, because he's going to pitch to contact.
Absolutely. And he's facing a Padre lineup. It is not the most lethal in the National League.
Well, they're 2-8 for a reason. Pitching hasn't been very good, unfortunately, and they're struggling a little bit with their bats right now. So yeah, if you'll throw strikes early, I think when you're struggling, I think teams are aggressive. I think they swing early and counts. And I think also if they get to the point where their hitting coach goes, hey, we got to be patient, make them throw a strike. Uh-oh, I'm 0-1 because you got a strike throw on the mound.
Well, when we come back, we'll check on the health of Carlos Gonzalez and get a look at the Rockies lineup as they open up this 3-game set with the Padres. That when we return to 20th and Blake, we get Frazier out of his home and back to the booth.
Purple Monday. Mark Stout with you here at Coors Field. Todd Helton on Saturday night, that walk-off career home run, number 348. Helton is a homer. Here's why. Take a look at his home runs at Coors Field, in particular against the NL West. 43% of his home runs at Coors Field come against teams in the division. He hits well against San Diego. He hits well at home. He's hitting well now. Listen to the skipper.
He looks really, really good right now, and he looks like a guy that he looked like, I don't know, we're going to go back even further than just last year when it was pretty good. I think at just over 300 with the home runs at this stage in his career and the runs driven in. It looks even better than that right now.
There's always numbers to talk about Todd Helton. He's a career 354 hitter here at Coors Field. Even better against the Padres at home, 367 in his games against San Diego here at 20th and Blake. We are getting ready for baseball, first of three between the Padres and the Rockies. It's an NL West matchup once again here on Root Sports. First pitch comes your way from Coors Field next.
Root Sports is brought to you by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By CenturyLink, fast speed and a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at Southwest.com. Pretty night at Coors Field as the Rockies in their purple tops take the field. It'll be start number 3 on the season for Jeremy Guthrie. And the Padres will have Cameron Maben to lead things off. He's hit a home run and driven in 2. Otherwise, he has struggled to get going, as has most of the Padres offensively. Here's Bud Black's lineup presented by Southwest.com. Will Venable is hitting .269. He'll be in the 2 spot. Chase Headley from Fountain, Colorado will bat 3rd. Jeremy Hermida, the former Florida Marlin, is in the 4 spot. Nick Hundley will bat 5th. Yonder Alonso comes over from Cincinnati. Andy Perino will bat 7th. Jason Bartlett, the veteran shortstop, and Corey Lukey. And here's the numbers on Jeremy Guthrie. Very good in his first outing. Could not get out of the 4th inning with a 6-0 lead.
Yeah, and I really think a lot of that was sitting in the dugout, came out, got some balls up, back-to-back home runs. Things happen, but you can see this is his 2nd career start against San Diego. The first one went very well. He's 1-0 against the Padres. And pitching at home, of course, in his ballpark, he pitched most of his career at home. Wasn't a friendly place in Baltimore. He's 22-34 in his home start. So here he gets another shot at the Padres.
So here we go. The first pitch of the ball game is in there. Strike one, according to Rob Drake. Drake calling balls and strikes tonight. It's somewhat chilly tonight, made more so by the wind, George. The temperature is 56 degrees, but as we have dealt with the last, not you or I so much, but the last 4 or 5 days, the players have had to deal with significant wind.
It's been messy. Trust me, wind and rain and mist. I mean, it has not been ideal baseball conditions, but tonight, a good night to play baseball.
Ball and 2 strikes. Ramon Hernandez sets up off the plate, and this is fouled off. The Padres are struggling as a club. They're hitting just a .191 so far. That is not good. It is last in baseball. And for Bud Black, who is one of the most patient managers and one of the most cerebral managers in the game, he has watched his club walk offensively more than any team in baseball. That's good. But they've struck out more than any team in baseball, George.
Which is not good.
Not so good.
Not so good at all. And again, this club's going to hit better than they've hit. You got some young mixed in there, a lot of young guys, and then you also have to mix in a couple of veterans. And so how long will they be before they're patient enough to let that thing go? 83-mile-an-hour changeup starts the game out with a strikeout in a good location. And from Guthrie.
And for Maben, that's already the 14th strikeout in 41 at-bats.
And everybody feel good story. I mean, gave pretty good contract extension to him also as a young player, but great positioning of that changeup by Guthrie and Hernandez.
So that'll bring up Will Venable. Venable's off to one of the better starts offensively for any of the Padres, and he turns on this pitch and lines it to right. And Michael Kadir's going to have to play it off the wall. Venable's a long strider. He'll stop at second with a 1-out double. Let's take a look at the Rockies defensively. Carlos Gonzalez again will have to at least sit out the initial part of the game. Is available to pinch hit. Colvin, Fowler, and Kadir in the outfield. Nelson at third. Troy Tulowitzki at shortstop. On the right side, it's Scudero and Helton, Ramon Hernandez, Jeremy Guthrie make up the battery. And a breaking ball for a strike on the very patient Chase Headley.
Not particularly a lot of high average for Headley so far, but the home runs and RBIs lead the club. A couple of home runs, 8 RBIs for Mr. Headley.
Well, one of the home runs Georgie hit, he was 0 for 12 to start the season, and then he banks a grand slam.
Pretty nice way to get 4 on the board in the RBI total, too, with one swing.
And this ball's well hit to center field. Fowler going back, and it's over his head, and it takes a hop off the wall. Cruising home is Venable, back-to-back doubles, and George, you hate as a pitcher to give up that kind of swing on an 0-2 pitch.
Well, too much of the plate. I think, too, when a guy's struggling average-wise, you think you can get away with some pitches. Now let's look and see exactly where they wanted this running. See where the pitch is? If we can run that back one more time, I'd like to freeze that for the fans at home to see exactly where we're trying to go with this pitch on Headley to record the out on an 0-2 pitch. What you're trying to do, freeze it. Now you look right here. This is where they want that pitch. And it ran back almost 18 inches to the middle of the plate, and not only that, the height of the pitch.
The Padres have Jeremy Hermida at the plate. He's hitting cleanup, which he's done on just 10 occasions in his career. Hermida was a non-roster invitee. He was toying with going to Japan, George, and he made the Padres hit a little over 300 during spring training. Carlos Quentin, who they went and traded for, is not available. There's a catch. He hurt his knee. He had it scoped and is going to be out for at least the next few weeks.
Well, you have a history with him, and you know what you're getting. if that makes sense to you. I mean, he's got a history at the big league level. By the way, I want to say this very quickly. Congrats to Christian Friedrich today. Another great outing. Went 7 innings. They got a doubleheader going because of the snow out, rain out yesterday. 7 innings, 4 hits, a run, 0 walks, 6 strikeouts in Colorado Springs.
Wow.
He faced 24 batters, which is impressive in a 7-inning game. 21's the total, right? 3 over. The other side of that, that's very good that I like to hear. Talk about it here in a minute. Let Kadar catch this ball.
He's not going to be able to. Nick Hundley, who got his first hit of the year yesterday, has a double. That's 3 doubles in the inning, and it's 2-0 San Diego.
Yeah, that happened pretty quick.
Yeah, this is not how Jeremy Guthrie was looking to start.
But I do think Guthrie is a veteran guy. It's not somebody that's going to blow up in a game. I mean, the other day, yeah, he got blown up after the long set. But what I mean by that, he's going to stay the course of what his plan of action and try to get a little more particular with his pitches. This ball, you can see the reach back again. Back to the middle of the plate. Wanted the ball down and away. And again, it's the height of the pitch.
And this ball is well hit, right center field. Dexter's going to get over there and make the catch. And Yonder Alonso is retired. 3 doubles, 2 runs in the inning. Padres strike quickly. Three so far in the first inning. 3 doubles produced 2 runs very quickly against Jeremy Guthrie. Marco Scudero will be back in the lineup, leading things off for the Rockies. He had yesterday off. Southwest batting order for Jim Tracy, Dexter Fowler, Troy Tulowitzki, 2 and 3. Todd Helton will bat 4th. Again, feeling much better is Carlos Gonzalez, available to pinch hit. Michael Kadire, Ramon Hernandez, Tyler Colvin, Chris Nelson, and then Guthrie. And they'll face a fairly hard-throwing left-hander who, believe it or not, Corey Lupke, George, has been better on the road than at Petco Park ERA-wise.
Yeah, oh, big time. I mean, out on the road, you look at those numbers, 287, 3 and 5 in his road outings. But at home, in that big park, 4 and 7, 401 earned run average. Signed to a contract this spring by Josh Burns to be the cornerstone, the anchor of this rotation. Last year being put in the rotation late in the season after being out of the bullpen for the majority of that. His last start a little rough. Pitched 43 pitches in the very first inning, go along with 4 walks. I think that left-handers have hit him at a clip of 385.
Well, he still only gave up 1 run in 5 1/3 in that outing.
But it's because he only threw 40 pitches the next 4 innings.
He picked it up a little bit. And George, he's had success here. He is not afraid of pitching at Coors Field. This is punch foul by Scudero. In fact, he was here in September and threw a dandy of a ball game.
Threw a really good ball game here against the Rockies. He's one of those guys, no fear, works the ball down and away. They've made some trades to really bolster this young rotation. Clayton Richards, another one of those guys.
Down the line, just foul, and that broke the bat of Scudero. His last outing here, George, 7 innings. He allowed 1 hit.
Very good. I just want to finish this up on Christian Friedrich because it's a great turnaround by a #1 draft pick. 10 ground ball outs in that ball game. 87 pitches, 59 strikes. Congratulations to Christian. Now they're starting on game 2 down there against Las Vegas. Both of those clubs only had 4 hits total in the ball game. It was a very, very well pitched on both sides. Brown hit his second home run off Chavez.
He can swing at Andrew Brown. He had a good spring.
LeMahieu now with 6 RBIs. He's hitting .349 down there.
LeMahieu came with Tyler Colvin in the deal for Ian Stewart and Casey Weathers. September 19th, Corey Lupke on the Coors Field mound. The Rockies couldn't touch him.
Yeah, look what he's doing too. Fastball command, both sides of the plate.
Marco Scudero hitting just 167, but he's hit some balls hard. And the other thing is he's been a really tough guy to put away. He has yet to strike out, and he is typically working the count 5, 6, 7 pitches deep. He will hit last year career best .299 average with the Red Sox. Better than .270 in his career. And that's a base hit right center field. Maben was shaded that way, so it's a single for Scudero. San Diego comes in 2-8, and they have scuffled defensively. The only team to make more errors than the Padres so far this year in baseball, the Giants. They have Venable, Maben, and Hermida in the outfield. All 3 of those guys run well, which helps, as you know, at Coors Field. Headley, Bartlett, Perino, Alonso in the infield. Nick Hundley is behind the plate. The middle of their infield has struggled. Jason Bartlett and Orlando Hudson. Now, Hudson's not starting tonight, but Bartlett's been a little unsteady, George.
Too many errors. I mean, I think you look down there and you look at a lot of guys that are with the baseball. He has 3. Tulowitzki has 3. Some pretty good shortstops with too many errors in the game so far.
2 of Troy's came, those throwing errors in the horrible weather over the weekend, and I asked asking Troy about that today. I said, was it just you couldn't get a grip on the baseball, I assume, because of the wet ball? And he said actually it was less the wet ball, and it was I couldn't feel my fingers anymore because they were so cold.
And it was pretty nippy outside, obviously, that rain, that cold, everything about it, trying to make sure. And I thought and I mean, I could be wrong, but I thought I saw in one of the videos he had the Little League 3-finger grip trying to get the ball over there.
2-0 on Dexter Fowler. Fowler's seen Lupke 10 times. He has 3 hits against him. That's a good looking pitch. He's got a good arm. He'll go 90-94 with the fastball.
Averaged 91.2 a year ago with his fastball.
Here's Bud Black. I asked Bud, who is a terrific left-handed pitcher in his own right, what he liked most about Lupke. This is double play possibility. Good job by Dexter getting up the line. They can't turn it, so he'll switch places with Scudero. And what he told me is he's very proud of his fastball, which is a good thing, but he is smart enough to know that if you get in hitters' counts, you have to throw your secondary stuff at this level.
Well, I think it was evident yesterday with Pomeranz when he had the inability to throw the curveball for a strike behind the counts, fastball too much in the strike zone, made him pay for it. And I think as you get older and wiser in this game, and Lupke obviously has done that, in order to be able to throw the changeup or a curveball, a secondary pitch in the zone, get people to chase stuff.
So here's Tulowitzki batting .294 in the early going with a home run and 6 RBIs. Troy takes a strike. Tulo 1 for 3, a ribby and a walk yesterday. Rockies scratched out a couple of runs in the 8th inning. They couldn't do much with Trevor Cahill. The only guy who touched Trevor Cahill was Johnny Herrera. He had 3 solid singles against him.
Now look at this statistics on Tulowitzki. start to look and you say, okay, what is it? National League East 311 career average, National League Central 332, and the West just 269. Part of that to me is they see him an awful lot. Maybe they figure out the puzzle. Plus some of the ballparks you hit in, San Francisco, LA, and San Diego, a little bit different than a lot of the other ballparks you play in that are in the Central and the National League East.
Here's the 1-1. And that misses 2-1. Fans who wants tacos and who wants to meet Carlos Gonzalez receive a prize pack with autographed items and appear in the upcoming Taco Bell Who Wants Tacos commercial. Visit RockyMountain.rootsports.com and visit the For Fans Only section to enter to win. Troy pulls it to third. Headley's up with it to second on the first double play. 5-4-3 on the turn, and we turned to inning number 2 at the Padres out in front, 2-0.
Does he like to pitch at the most? And he said Angel Stadium right away, Anaheim. I looked at his numbers, 2-1 in 4 career starts, 2.37 ERA. His last start there, he pitched into the 9th and won 1-0. And you know what, Frage? He told me that he likes the way the mound is there, just the way the dirt is. Did you have a particular park that you liked pitching out because of the way the mound was?
Yeah, there was a couple, Mark. I liked Yankee Stadium's dirt. It was kind of a black dirt, but it was gummy underneath, and you really could get solid footing on it. And I liked Detroit's old ballpark. I really liked their mound. I thought they did a good job on it. The one I disliked the most was Fenway. It was red clay. And it was like with spikes on, you didn't have all those cushions when I was playing. And I think the thing is, it would really grind on your feet if you weren't used to it.
Boy, a lot of good swings being given up. That's going to be 4 doubles. Andy Perino to second. So Jeremy Guthrie scuffling here out of the gate. And you think of the ball Hermida and Alonso hit, which died in the glove of Dexter Fowler, but those balls were hit pretty well also. So Guthrie's already given up 12 extra base hits this year in a little over 2 starts. Jason Bartlett at the plate, and the pick plays on, and the Rockies run that daylight play as well as anybody I've seen in baseball.
Well, the other day it worked great to get out of an inning. Here they try it again. Tulowitzki, too, trying to put that knee out in front of the runner. It's natural instinct to slow yourself down a little bit. Plus a younger player out at second base, too, picking on the rookie a little.
Bartlett, a career .307 hitter against the Rockies. Here's the 1-0, and Bartlett fouls it into the seats. The Padres have already had 4 runners in scoring position tonight. They're 2 for 4. They came in hitting .206 with runners in scoring position, which was 24th in baseball. Bartlett's been in the big leagues parts of the last 9 years. And it's 3-1 on Bartlett. Corey Lupke's on deck. And he lost him. Now Lupke will come up and trying to lay down a bunt, move both runners to scoring position. Padres running out there and they're saying, wait a second, this is a different uniform. I thought the only team we were going to play this year were the Dodgers.
Yeah. Who's 9-1?
Yeah, that hasn't been a lot of fun.
Been no fun going there. By the way, happy to see you brought up Dodgers. Vince Scully back after missing the first 5. Back in the booth yesterday. It was really glad to see it.
84 years young. Been a little bit under the weather to start the season. Dodgers 9-1, and 7 of their first 10 games have come against the Padres. That's why I made that reference. They're just happy not only that they're not playing the Dodgers, more specifically, they just don't want to see Matt Kemp anymore.
There's a lot of people. They only hit .575 with 4 home runs and 8 RBIs last week. Is that any good?
Yeah, and he's hitting .519 this year with 6 home runs and 15 ribbies against the Padres.
Tough sun right now to deal with out in right field. About the only place that's still there. Good bunt laid down. They'll get to play it first.
So Lupke does his job. Runners at second and third, 1 out, and Cameron Maben, who began the ball game by striking out on a changeup against Guthrie. Bud Black saying about Kemp, he said he may be the best player in baseball right now. And he was in the conversation a year ago.
A second for MVP.
And a close second to Ryan Braun. Here's a curveball for a strike.
Oh for 7 with runners in scoring position this year so far for Cameron Maben.
In the air to center field.
Maybe shallow enough.
Tagging at third is Perino. Fowler's throw is going to go in the direction of Tulowitzki, and it's 3-0 Padres. So Maben with his 3rd RBI.
Really not a bad play, because you don't feel like if you're going to have a play at the plate on Perino that you go ahead and make the play to third to hold that runner there. So pass ball comes into play, errors come into play, ground ball, base hit singles gets him to score this way on a single with the 3 decent arms the Rockies have in the outfield. Maybe have a shot at the plate or at least hold him up at third. Minimize the damage.
Will Venable doubled and scored an inning ago. The Rockies have been averaging less than 5 innings an outing by their starters. In fact, in the last 3 ball games, their starters have pitched a grand total of 11 innings.
Well, one of those rain got Chacin too, though. 4 innings pitched in that ball game because of the long rain delay.
Well, going back over the last 6 games, the starters have worked 4 1/3, 4. That's the game you're referencing. 2 2/3, 5 2/3. That's Jamie Moyer on the ground to second.
Well, more really kind of glaring out there too. Only one starter has a win this year, and that's the guy on the hill tonight.
3 1/3 and 4. 3-0 Padres. As I said yesterday, if they're to win their 5th game, today will have to be from a come-from-behind situation as well. Down 3-0. Pitchers seen against the Padres at Coors Field since 2008. Todd Helton has seen 415 pitches. Just slightly over half have been fastballs, and then a variety of off-speed deliveries to try to get Todd Helton out. Most of it hasn't worked, George.
Not a lot of it. Nope. He's had higher success against these guys than anybody in baseball, and I think that's a tribute to Todd thinking about, you know what, you guys maybe coming out of high school, you should have given me a little bit more money than you did when you took me in the 2nd round.
Yeah, you know, you could say that on one hand, but then you look at his stats against everybody else. And
pretty equal.
Yeah, he swings the bat against everyone equally. There's an off-speed pitch, and Lupke strikes out Helton. And that may be Todd's first punch out of the year. I don't remember him striking out. And that is his first punch out of the year after 29 at bats.
Well, he goes right at him with a fastball away, outside corner for strike 1. Then it's a high breaking ball, but now he's going to come back with nothing but breaking balls with very good location down and away. Particularly the last. It was more of a sweeper, so it caught enough of the plate to make Todd want to take a hack at it. Particularly the count helped out at 1-2.
Here's Michael Kadire. Kadire 0 for 3 yesterday. Snapped a little 4-game hitting streak he had going. He has never faced Lupke. That's down the line. That's a fair ball. And Mr. Double, Michael Kadire, will have another one. He leads the club. He's among the National League leaders in doubles. That is his 6th of the year.
He does lead the league in doubles right now for the National League, with 5 coming in. This making 6, as Drew just told you about it. Here's that breaking ball in. Really opens the front side up to get the head of the bat to the baseball. And turns on it. Look at those hands tight, because he sees that ball and reads it out of the hand, and it just shoots it by third base down the left field line for a 1-out double.
See if the Rockies could chip away a little bit. Ramon Hernandez coming up. This is the 2nd lineup that was submitted by Jim Tracy. He made a subtle change to his original lineup. He had Tyler Colvin hitting 6th originally behind Kadire, and then Ramon Hernandez. About 40 minutes before the ball game, he flip-flopped him. Hernandez with a couple home runs, 6 driven in, hitting .308. Former Padre, 2004-2005 in San Diego for Ramon. Lifted foul on the right side, so it's a 2-strike count on Hernandez. The Rockies are the 5th major league team to employ the Venezuelan native, who now makes his home in Florida.
Ask about the Rockies buy one, get one free suite offer. That's right. There are 20 buy one, get one free dates in April and May, so call today. Can understand this team struggling. Make sure you're on the same page when you're calling the balls and strikes behind the plate as far as trying to induce that slider in, or where do you want to go on an 0-2 count. Let's not make a mistake here.
Some good years in San Diego. 276, hit 290 his 2nd year with the Padres. 18 home runs in 04 with San Diego, 12 the next season. Dyer at 2nd. Here's the 0-2. Fastball's off the plate at 92.
Pitch away, play away. If you look at their outfield positionings, he may have been way over in right center. So they're going to try to stay away from throwing a breaking ball, and if you do throw it, they're going to try to throw it on the back foot so it's a swinging miss type breaking ball versus throwing one that could stay in the zone, because a line drive in left center is going to go for a while.
Chop back to Lupke. He'll run Kadire back, and Hernandez is retired, 2 outs. That'll bring up Tyler Colvin, who, along with Helton, the only 2 left-handed bats, true left-handed bats in the lineup. Dexter, a switch hitter.
And left-handers, mentioned earlier, 5 for 12 before Helton's at bat against Lupke this year.
Rockies facing a number of lefties here in the first portion of the season. They'll see another good lefty on Wednesday, George, and Clayton Richard.
Really good left-hander. Great move to the plate, too, or to first base.
Good block by Nick Hundley. Lupke, George, averages between 91 and 92 miles an hour on his fastball. You get a left-hander who works, as they say in baseball, around 92 and can touch 94, 95. That's a very impressive arm, especially on the left side.
And because he throws strikes with it. It makes the 92 to 94 so much better, because he does pound the zone with it. And he has command of both sides, arm and glove, and I think that's the thing that jumps out at me. There's a lot of guys that'll throw 90, 93 mile an hour that are left-handed. It's just they don't have the command that this young man does. Colvin looking for his second base hit in his career versus the Padres, 1 for 12 so far.
And there it is. He pulled the hands in, ripped it to right. Here comes Kadire, and the Rockies are on the board. Left on left, Tyler Colvin coming through. Boy, he just continues to impress.
20 home runs was not a fluke for me. And it got pulled happy a year ago, really struggled with it. This time he got a pitch on the inner half and really turned on this ball. A 2-out RBI base hit on a pretty good pitch from Lupke, down and in on the inner half of the plate, and just turned on it. Got the bat head out front, jerked it to right field. That's going to allow Kadire to score. And I watched Colvin as he was running up the line. He wanted to see if there's going to be a throw to the plate and a cutoff. If there was, you try to take advantage and advance farther into second to get in scoring position.
Chris Nelson at the plate. Checked his swing. 1-1. Chris put up good numbers last year, really in his career against San Diego. Played 12 ball games against him and hit the ball well. And this ball's tagged deep center field, but right at Maben. He had to readjust. That ball came off the barrel like it had a chance to go deeper than that. Rockies get a run, 3-1. Padres leading as we go to the top of the third inning. Chase Headley will begin things, the three-hole hitter for the Padres. Hey, Colorado, get ready for a look at the road ahead, powered by your Colorado Hyundai dealers. Step up to the plate, get more miles per gallon with the hottest car line in America, Hyundai. Two more with the Padres. Thursday will be a travel day to Bud Selig's town, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and then off to Pittsburgh. A 6-game road trip before the Rockies return home. Thursday will be another off day, and then the Mets are in over the weekend. Late in this opening month of the season, Jeremy Guthrie with a 1-0 pitch and went to a two-seam fastball there. It's off the plate, so it's 2-0 on Headley. Swung on and missed. Our buddy and the former Rocky, Mark Grant, on the Padres side of things, there against the next to the legendary Dick Enberg. There's Mud, and he is nicknamed Headley Count Headley because he said it seems like every at bat it's a 3-2 count. Won't be this time. Was Headley leading baseball in walks in the early going. Chase retired on the ground ball to Helton, 1 out, and that'll bring up Jeremy Hermida. Hermida's an interesting story. Guys become prospects at different times, sometimes in their career. Kevin Kuzminoff, who played with the Rockies late last year for Asian, a longtime Padre, originally came from Cleveland. I mean, he was just a high school baseball player like anybody else. Wasn't recruited by a soul. I mean, not a soul. He went to junior college, and then he moved on to a 4-year school, and he ended up playing at the University of Nevada his senior year, and that's where he really started to emerge. Obviously, he kept getting better and better along the line. Next thing you know, he's in the big leagues. The reason I bring it up is Hermida, when he was growing up in Georgia in high school, he was looked upon as the best high school hitting prospect in the country.
Think about all those things put upon a young man's shoulder, like they are with Bryce Harper right now, and trying to live up to that.
1-2, and Hermida stays off it. 2-2. Hermida hit a line drive to center field that Dexter Fowler caught. Play again for Todd. 2 outs. You're not going to get on real frequently hitting it over at that 38-year-old first baseman.
Pretty good, isn't he? Really good. One more play like that, he'll set a record. He'll tie one.
Always love when records are set at the ballpark. Here's Nick Hundley talking to everybody around the Padres, even though Nick had a real difficult start. He's not taking him behind the plate with a Jeremy Guthrie needed that kind of inning. Quick and efficient. 3 ground ball outs, 3-1. That took only 8 pitches. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Ford. Swap your ride with a smart, quality, and fuel-efficient Ford. By College Invest, are you saving for college or just thinking about it? And by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, moving forward. Wow, that's a pretty shot there. And, oh, the dog park was busy earlier today. You know what, George, I haven't done this before, but I wanted to give a shout out to a couple of loyal listeners, Mac and Stella.
Are you talking about your 2 labs or Goldens?
Golden and my English sheepdog.
They listen whether they want to. If they want to eat, you're watching, all right? You got this straight here at the house?
Mac listens. The old English sheepdog puppy does not listen to anybody. Guthrie takes that outside. It's 1-1.
Is that your dog?
No, actually, well, yes, they're both mine, but my wife with the 3 boys in the house and a male dog, Mac, who never does anything wrong, said, you know what, it's time we have there's got to be some female in the house other than me. So we got an old English sheepdog, beautiful dog. She's a PIGP. Two and 2. And doesn't listen so well. I've already been to doggy prison twice.
What?
Yes. 2-2.
Where's that at? Where's doggy prison? Like out in the garage or something?
No. There's a great program in state. Other states do this where you can send your dog for training to an actual prison.
Well, that's not prison. It's called dog training.
It's dog training at the prison.
Oh, that's, they do that. I saw a special on that, actually.
Yeah.
And he's been twice and hasn't learned yet.
Twice. She'll put her paws up on the couch for shakedown. She knows what shakedown is. It's a trick not every dog can do.
You should teach it what lockdown is, too.
Here's the 2-2. And
that hurt.
Yeah, that didn't feel so good. This is where it wasn't so bad being in the American League.
Yeah, I like that DH thing every now and then.
Coming up in the 6th inning, we invite you to join in on the conversation. Maybe you can provoke some conversation. Text Toyota to 720-720. If you have any questions, comments, or otherwise, send them. Plus, learn how to win a $500 gas card.
Now, I got a question to ask you.
Yes.
Whoever trains your dog in prison, maybe is he house trained? Maybe they just feel like I'll get back at Goodman. I know what I'm doing here. If he went twice, I think that's a bad thing.
Occasionally.
Twice, I think that's a bad thing if he hadn't learned anything yet.
Occasionally. We'll leave it at that.
Twice you sent him.
Yeah. Repeat offender. Marco Scudero with 1 out. Marco had a base hit to right center his first time. Rocky's got a run last inning. 1 out double by Kadire. And then an RBI single by Tyler Colvin. Scudero always goes to the plate and he packs an overnight bag. He's usually up there for a while. Out of play down the right field line. Dodgers got cooled off today, George.
They're off.
Exactly.
Washington playing good baseball. They're up on top of Houston, 6-2.
Who's playing good?
Strasburg's pitching.
Yeah, you know who's playing well? That misses 3-2. The Mets are playing well out of the gate.
6-1 lead right now. Tommy Hanson for Atlanta started the ball game. They got after him. G started for the Mets.
And Pittsburgh at Arizona later. Philadelphia is in the City by the Bay. They'll take on the Giants later on. And there's Scudero doing his thing. He walks, so he's been on twice, and with 1 out, that'll bring up Dexter Fowler.
By the way, that's going to be a pretty good matchup. I didn't realize this. Roy Halladay is 0-2 against San Francisco Giants. Lincecum 4-1 against the Phillies.
Yeah, it's a terrific matchup. Dex tops it to third, Headley there, and then the throw to first not in time. So Dexter again bounces into a force out. And with 2 outs, that'll bring up Tulowitzki.
I think in the last 2 years, Dexter's only hit into 1 double play, if I'm not mistaken. I think you showed me earlier that, Doug. And they have not been able to turn it twice in this game with Dexter running up the line.
Troy grounded into a 5-4-3 double play in the first inning. Last year, the Rockies and Padres split the season series, 9 apiece. Well, the Padres won the last 4 of 2011 against the Rockies. Rockies got off to the great start last year in April, had a miserable May, and they had a very poor September also. And not enough happened in the other 3 months, as you all know. The Rockies went from a preseason contender to a 73-win club. Troy hits it on the ground to short, easy play for Bartlett. 3 innings complete at Coors Field. Padres 3, Rockies 1.
A 3-1 lead for the Padres as we head to the top of the 4th inning. You may have heard Drew mention earlier that Colorado native and Padre Chase Headley broke a slump at the beginning of the year by hitting a grand slam. It's the second of his career. He's now hit one from both sides of the plate. He told me he hit a slider. Well, here's our AT&T trivia question for tonight. The Rockies last year hit 1 grand slam total. What player hit that grand slam? We'll answer it in the bottom of the 4th inning. We go back upstairs to the guys.
That's a good question, Mark. You always ask good questions. Yonder Alonso grounds it up the middle, and he's going to have himself an infield hit. Scudero dove, smothered it, but he was swung over in the hole. So Yonder Alonso is leading things off in the 4th inning.
Ground ball again, a sinker away from him, and he was playing him over a little bit. That ball ran more to the outside corner off the end of the bat.
Andy Perino pulled a double to right his first time up. Perino's from Brockport, New York, upstate New York, western part of the state, and went to Lemoyne College. which is near Syracuse. Good baseball program.
What division is that?
Well,
when I was
at Ithaca, we played them a lot. They were Division III. Dougie, they still Division III? Doug's from sort of that neck of the woods. Doug's a Jersey boy by way of Cincinnati. What do you claim these days, Jersey or Ohio? What's that? Colorado.
Been here 20 years.
Claims a big oak tree up in the woods. Here's the 1-1 on the ground, a Helton foul. Well, the Padres came into this affair batting .191. They've produced 3 runs on 5 hits, 4 of which are doubles. The first 3+ innings.
Well, you'd mentioned Guthrie, the extra base hits given up by he's given up more than any other pitcher. But Black happy to just see the hits on the board of any kind and runs on the board right now after a rough start to the season at 2-8. Saw him this morning having a little breakfast. They did a something you'll see later on in Rockies Weekly. The Breakfast Club. Matt Belisle, Rex Brothers joined me this morning at Sam's number 3. Bud Black came in afterwards. Have a little breakfast today. Shook both of Belisle and Brothers' hands. He says, "Nice to meet you. I hope I don't see you."
That sounds like Bud Black. Here's the 2-2. And this is popped up. Shallow center. Troy's going out. Dex can't see it. And fortunately, Troy did. George, it's that time of day where that can happen. It's dusk and kind of a high sky.
Very high sky, and you come in. Dexter's going to throw the hands out early and let him know, don't see it, don't see it. Somebody help me find it. He looked over for help from Kadire. I'm not sure that Michael saw it either. Troy very alertly got back there and made the play on it. A blue and a little gray in it. High sky, difficult time.
Jason Bartlett walked his first time up. And this ball is hit well to left field and deep and off the base of the wall. Alonso to third. He does not run well. So he'll stop there. It's second and third, 1 out. That is double number 5 here in the top of the 4th inning for San Diego.
But because he got a little too much top hand on his curveball, it allowed it to stay in the ballpark. This ball was hit hard. Coleman was playing a little bit shallow, and then when that ball's over your head, you realize you just turn going to play it off the wall. Hope it stayed inside this part of the fencing.
Slider for a strike on Lupke. He got a sac bunt down his first time up.
Yeah, there's a reason throwing a slider first pitch. 212 he hit last year with 7 hits and just 33 at bats. Got to put the wood on the rawhide occasionally.
They really picked it up in the second half offensively. He's at 304 over his last 14 starts. And in case something was on, the Rockies pitch out. I don't know if they put something on with Alonso at third running. He's a station-to-station guy, George.
Well, maybe more of a safety squeeze. Push it towards second. If it gets far enough out where you're not going to have a play, then go.
One and two. Guthrie needs to punch out Lupke. You do not want the ball in play. If you can get the out, maybe it'll come up with 2 outs. Chance to get out of it unscathed. Correct something, George. Lemoyne is a Division II school, number 14 currently in the country.
Watching Alonso at third base, for a guy that doesn't run very well, he's not getting a very big lead over there, which is good. Because then a ball squirts away, it's a little harder for him to come to home plate on if it gets back to the screen. I mean, it's like a 2 or 3 step lead over there.
Guthrie 50 pitches in. Here's the 2-2. And it's hit hard off of Tulowitzki. Kicks into the outfield, and the throw ends up hitting the runner. Scudero trying to get Bartlett going second to third. 4-1. Lupke hit that on the button, and Tulowitzki couldn't come up with it.
I guarantee you, Troy Tulowitzki very disappointed. Now you set your defense up where you can have a play on the plate because you don't have speed there. Tulowitzki a little bit back off of the grass, but this thing stung by Lupke. Hit right off of the hill, shot out, and Scudero very alertly, bare hands, fires over to third base, but it catches the runner in the back and allowed Bartlett to get over to third base.
That was the fourth error on Troy already this year. The 2 are in the lousy weather, but they're errors nonetheless. And he made only 6 all of last year in capturing his second straight Gold Glove. Well, get this out of your system early. I'm not just talking about Troy. Collectively, the Rockies have played very poor defense so far. First and third, 1 out, and a difficult man, George, to double up in Maben.
A lot of wheels, but a pitcher at first who's a good athlete that runs decent, but it's still not a position guy running at first.
And it doesn't matter. That's a base hit, and it is 5-1. So Cameron Maben with his second RBI of the ball game. He's doubled his total for the season here in the first few innings of this ball game. 7 hits for the Padres. Bob Apodaca is going to go to the mound. Here's the base hit.
Shot right through the hole on the left side, and with a ball that was out over the plate a little bit. 36 for strikes, 18 for balls. Bob Apodaca, that's not an issue right now. It's getting ahead early. You stand out of the middle of the plate, get the extension on the pitches down. You were part of the conversation today with Bob when he's talking about mistakes with our starting pitchers have been more of where the location of the pitch is, the elevation of the pitch, high in the strike zone versus quality strikes down in the zone.
Will Venable at the plate. Son of Max Venable, former big leaguer. Will's a product of Princeton University. 2-sport star there in basketball and baseball. What do you see from Guthrie, George?
Elevated fastball, mislocation a little bit. You know, those balls, a couple of those doubles, you want to come in, it goes away, it runs out over the middle of the plate. And that's okay to run on the middle of the plate if it's down. It's going to have some sink, but on a sinker, when the ball's up, it's just a flat plane right into the swing path of a hitter.
1-2. Look at it. And now the bases are loaded. Bases are loaded for Chase Headley. That phone may start ringing again, George, in the bullpen. We were saying it's okay if it rings, but don't let it ring early.
It's early.
Green packs are back again for the 2012 season. Get yours today. It's only $24 for 2 great seats, with $5 going towards the Green Fund, which plants trees in the Denver area. Join us for the next Green game. It's tomorrow. It's fouled back. Visit ColoradoRockies.com/green for more information.
San Diego's done anything good. It's in this situation right here with the bases loaded this year. 4 for 9 as a team.
Yeah, there's some movement now in the Rockies bullpen. Down 5-1 here in the 4th inning. Esmil Rogers is back involved as you look at Matt Reynolds throwing. I mentioned that because Esmil was down the last couple of days. He can give you multiple innings if necessary. Chatwood back involved also. Here's the 2-1, and it's popped up left side. Nelson will run to the bag. Tulowitzki makes the catch. 2 outs. Jeremy Hermito come up, fly ball center field and a ground ball to first.
Not many games you're going to win when you look up and you're in the top of the 4th inning and your 3-hole hitter and your 4-hole hitter have been up 3 times already. That's the case with the Padres. 3rd at bat now.
Change up on the first pitch is outside, ball 1.
64 pitches in the ball game, 42 for strikes.
Yeah, the pitch count isn't the issue. The issue is how many barrels have been hit, and that's just foul. 5 doubles in the ball game. A lot of balls have been squared up.
Take a look at this on Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. Talk about blowing up a bat. He's done that a couple of times today. He's fortunate that this did not stay in fair territory.
One and one count on Hermida. Base is full of Padres. This ball is well struck. But it'll die in the glove of Tyler Colvin. In the inning, 2 more runs for the Padres. They have a 5-1 lead, middle of 4th.
.5-1 going bottom 4. Let's answer your AT&T trivia question, which was, who was the Rocky that hit the only grand slam for the club last year? Surprisingly, it was Lazier Alfonso. He hit it against San Diego. You may remember that game. It was July 30th. Ubaldo Jimenez gets traded to the Indies. It was kind of a crazy game out in San Diego, and Alfonso hit that one deep. Ironically, Chase Headley comes up with the bases loaded, didn't go deep again with the bases loaded, but he does have 2 grand slams thus far this year. He hit one earlier this year for San Diego. Back upstairs to Drew and George. Guys?
Yeah, that, you know what, Mark, that was a tough one. You always ask good trivia questions. That was a tough one for folks. Eliezer Alfonso, the only grand salami last year. Rockies down by a grand salami. 5-1 is the score. Todd Helton leading things off. He struck out in the second inning, swinging. First time he has struck out this year. Corey Luebke's allowed a run on 3 hits. 2-0. Helton will be followed by Kadire and Ramon Hernandez. Back up the middle. Bartlett's got it. Carlos Gonzalez, we talked about him earlier in the program. He is feeling much better. Was not at the yard the last 2 days. Came in briefly to be checked out medically and then was sent home with strep throat. He hit inside today, not out on the field, but he looked much better. He was out on the field for a little while. He could pinch hit later in the ball game, and you hope that strength-wise he has a chance to go tomorrow.
How about this score, Drew? I'm going to throw out at you. Asheville 16, West Virginia nothing.
West Virginia's offense not what it was when Rich Rodriguez was the coach there.
Swanner, the catcher, hit 2 home runs today and had 7 RBIs. That felt pretty good. They talk about all the concussions in football. Think about a catcher behind the plate. A lot of that going on.
And Michael Kadire ripped that, but right at the third baseman, Headley, 2 outs. You didn't get my Rich Rod reference, did you? West Virginia head football coach. 16-0. That's a lot of runs in baseball.
Total bases, Swanner had 10. Tyler Massey's back there, is 2 for 5, hitting .378. Riggins, the big first baseman out of North Carolina State, having an impressive first couple of weeks, hitting .400, 2 for 6 today.
Down the line, just foul. Ramon Hernandez 0 for 1. Here's the 1-1, and that's pop foul out of play. Well, if you're glass half full guy, and hopefully you are, or gal, the Rockies off to a 4-5 start, and the starting pitching, could not be off to a poor start. So the fact that the Rockies are where they are, testament to the bullpen. And a few good offensive ball games. Hernandez pops out of the way. But clearly the starters have to pick it up in a big way. To short, Bartlett's been busy. A 1-2-3 4th inning for Corey Luebke. All San Diego right now. They're up 5-1 as we go to the 5th. energy efficiency and how to save money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. Jeremy Guthrie's best inning, the third. Chase Headley a ground out. Jeremy Hermida a ground out to Todd Helton as well. And then Nick Hundley would punch one to the right side. An easy play for Marco Scudero. That was an 8-pitch inning. Our Xcel Energy high-efficiency inning. Jeremy Guthrie has given up 5 runs in the game. 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 more in the fourth. And the comparison pitch-wise, again, that has not been the issue. The issue is that Guthrie has allowed the Padres to get a lot of quality swings against him. 7 hits, including 5 doubles. Nick Hundley will lead it off. He has a double. Nick almost got hurt on that swing. He rolled the ankle. What's that back foot? Yeah, he rolled it over. You know, some guys will do that. You always want to correct it. You want to end up that back knee driving to the front knee up on the toe. You don't want to roll over. Usually you're going to fly open. He did that inadvertently. His back foot actually came off the ground. You know who does that a little bit is Tulowitzki. Where the back foot will come off the ground. They want to go inside. 0-2.
Tulsa Ball Club won another ball game today. They played well. Nolan Arenado hit a home run to win it yesterday, 2-1. Today, Joe Gardner started, didn't make it through the 4th inning. Pitch count got him. He had not been stretched out yet in spring training, so he's at about 75 pitches. Soft fly ball to Dexter. Corey Reardon came on and scored, or got the win today. Ben Polson with the big hit, a bases loaded triple to win it.
That'll work. Good for Ben Polson. Yonder Alonso will be coming up, joining the conversation with Toyota Talk coming up in the 6th inning. Here's how you get involved. Text Toyota to 720-720. You'll also learn how to win a $500 gas card. On the ground to third, Nelson, a good play and an accurate throw. Well done, Chris Nelson.
Well, today they've done this for the last 3 days, weather permitting. Vinny Castilla stands at home plate, and Tommy Runnels, the bench coach, will flip baseballs to him, and then it's off the live bat. It's not a fungo. It's off of a soft toss ball to Vinny. He hits it hard right at Chris. Today also there was Hernandez was over at third base a little bit. Willeen Rosario was over at third, but mostly Chris reacting to the ball off the bat.
I'm glad you mentioned Willeen was over there fielding ground balls, and then he took ground balls at first, and that's not just filling up idle time. That is by design. They want Willeen comfortable at the 2 corner spots, because without Jordan Pacheco right now in the big leagues, as it occurred yesterday, they can use one of their 2 catchers to pinch hit, and then if they keep them in the game, in case there is an injury to one of the guys, you know, one of the 2 catching, you'll have a guy on the field who can catch. Todd gets it on the backhand side, and Jeremy Guthrie gets Perino and has a 1-2-3 inning, his 2nd of the night. 5-1 Padres. Colvin will lead it off when we come back. as we go to the bottom of the fifth, bottom of the order for the Rockies, Colvin, Nelson, and Guthrie. Strange play last night. Really affected the Padres' chance to win. 4-4 game, top of the ninth. Runners at first and second, and the bunt attempt by Guzman turned into a triple play. Now watch Dale Scott, because Bud Black was incensed. We have to show this slowly. Colvin, an RBI single in the second inning. He takes strike one. After this pitch, we're going to show you why Bud Black was so angry, and he had a case.
Yeah, I thought he did too.
Watch Dale Scott. The ball's bunted, and he puts his hand, he backs up, then watch his hands. He says foul ball, and then he says, wait, it goes fair. Well, you can't do that. Once you indicate foul, so none of the runners moved. They throw to third, they throw to second, and you can see Alonso, yonder Alonso's at second base, and he's saying, wait a second, you called it a foul ball. Once you call it a foul ball, it's dead. Now, in actuality, it's a fair ball, because the ball can start foul and go fair. Dale Scott shouldn't have done anything until the ball was touched in foul territory or died in foul territory. So he puts the hands up. They had first and second, nobody out, and in the next second, they're in the dugout, and in the ninth inning, D. Gordon had an RBI hit to win it for the Dodgers to improve to 9-1, and that was brought up today at Bud's press conference again, and he wasn't any happier today than he was yesterday.
Nor should he be. Nor should he be. And I think, again, you know, that appeal process, let him see some things, how things went, all those should factor into this.
Strange situation. It's almost like the inadvertent whistle, George, in football, and it happens. And Dale Scott, listen, Dale Scott's a good umpire, but once those hands go up, you can't all of a sudden then reward the team to the field. Everybody stopped on the base paths.
The thing is, if the ball is still in play and the ball spun into fair territory, if the ball's still there and nobody's touched it, you can't make any call. That's like a ball rolling foul down the first base line. If you throw up your hands foul ball, nobody's touched it, and it rolls back fair, it's a fair ball before it gets past the bat. He just made a call way too fast, is what it amounts to.
Yeah. 1-1 is the count on Chris Nelson. Lukey's a product of Ohio State University. He was a supplemental first-round pick. Seven-year-old. At Coors Field in his brief big league career, the Rockies have only hit 183 against him. So what he's doing tonight, he's done before.
Yeah, this is nothing new for him. And you can understand why the Padres went to try to lock him up with very little time in the big leagues. To lock him up with a long-term contract, to keep him around a little bit. Josh Burns is the new general manager now there in San Diego. Hey, follow the Rockies on your phone with the MLB.com @Bat12 app, featuring pitch tracking and highlights and a whole lot more.
It's fouled off by Nelson. Well, you know who joined the front office on the baseball operations side this past offseason? Omar Minaya.
Yeah, getting back in action again after being in Montreal, then his run with the Mets.
3-2 on the ground to third, knocked down by Headley, and it's a hit for Nelson, and Chris will take a wide turn and return to first base. Fourth hit for the Rockies.
Well, in between innings, Mark Guthrie has gone in and has been worked on by the trainers here. A little cut on his left hand there. It's not on his throwing hand. It's on the opposite hand, trying to clean some things up. You wonder maybe if that happened when he got jammed with that ball inside on the thumb area. And then Hernandez kind of the same thing, catching that hard sinker on that outer half of the plate, getting looked at by Keith Duggan.
To Jeremy Guthrie at the plate with one out. Nelson at first.
27 at bats in his career. He's yet to have a sacrifice bunt.
Got his first.
Baby. Perfectly done. Now I go back to what Todd Helton said the other day in a ball game when the Rockies were down and he had the game-winning hit. And he said, you know, when you get down early in a ball game 5-1, don't expect to score 5 in 1 inning. Peck away, and put yourself in a position to win the game late. Been there a few times and done that.
Marco Scudero's been on twice, a single and a walk. Takes strike one. Remember how special Madison Bumgarner was last week, George, against the Rockies. The Giants just announced they locked him up for 6 years. Contract in excess of $35 million for Bumgarner. Nelson takes off for third, and
that's not
safe.
Not surprising at all, because Bud Black will play defensively a lot like Jim Leland with 2 outs and runner in scoring position. He will spread the defense in the middle of the infield. See how wide everybody is here? They're looking to make the play. So what Chris Nelson does is take advantage of that with a giant lead, and then you have your third baseman, Headley, come flying to the bag late and have to pick the ball off the ground. Heads up play by Chris Nelson, seeing where the defense set. They're doing it again now. Very wide, the middle open. Pitch away, thinking he'll ball hit on the ground to the right side. If he happens to come inside, ball hit to the left side, cheating in the hole a little bit, Bartlett.
2-1 on Marco Scudero. 2 outs in the 5th. And a sharply hit ball, but it was basically right at Andy Perino. Nelson left at third base. 5-1 Padres, off to the 6th inning. For the biggest Rockies fans in New Mexico, tell us why you're a fan and enter to win the ultimate fan experience. Here's what you get: travel for 2 and a hotel. If you're going to travel, you can put you up, and we'll put you up here in the Root Sports Suite at a Rockies game. You'll also have breakfast with George Frazier, and you'll get a Root Sports prize pack. Enter today by visiting RockyMountain.rootsports.com.
See, they say George Frazier because you eat yogurt and bagels and all that healthy stuff. They know they come with me. You're getting some bacon and eggs and biscuits and gravy, all that. I'll tell you one thing. You talk about a weird breakfast. This morning, Bilal, a whole avocado sliced thinly, please. A whole tomato sliced, 5 eggs, and potatoes. Yeah.
This is a good pitch by Guthrie.
Really good.
Bartlett is thrown out by Scudero.
That's the first time I've had breakfast with Matt. That's kind of a standard thing.
See, he takes care of himself. That's a good breakfast.
Absolutely. There's Matty. Rex Brothers joined us. Mentioned earlier that breakfast with George Frazier will be shown once weekly or once a month on Rockies Weekly. Matt and Rex were the first 2 to join me this morning.
What Rex eat?
Denver omelet. As we both looked at him and said, that's original. And we were at Sam's when he ordered it. And I go ahead and throw it out there, a plate full of French toast.
Corey Lukey takes a couple quick strikes. It's 0-2.
How about the last third inning, 8 pitches, 29 in the fourth, 5 in the fifth, 1 quick out here, and an 0-2 count on Lukey. Here's a breaking ball. Tulowitzki will get this one.
Good throw by Troy. That is 7 in a row now set down by Jeremy Guthrie. Top of the order again, Cameron Maben. 1 for 2, couple of RBIs, strikeout, sac fly, and an RBI single in the fourth. What'd you have?
Well, they're over under on the bacon. You know, as I like bacon.
Right.
Today I went sausage links.
You didn't have any bacon?
5 sausage links.
What was it?
3 eggs over medium, and had a little whole wheat toast to level things out.
You know what?
And a big pile of potatoes.
You know what?
What?
That is so not you. You tried to clean it up because it was on camera.
I didn't get to eat hard. I had to talk the whole time. Those two guys
You
while they
cleaned
ate.
it up. That's
I did.
That's usually an appetizer for you at breakfast.
Absolutely. Hey, you're right. You're right.
When am I coming on one of these? We're going to do one at the Steel City Diner?
Whenever you want. I won't be in Pittsburgh, but we'll find us a spot somewhere. I'll take you. San Francisco, the Pinecrest.
Oh, we'll do that. That's perfect.
Yeah, I started telling Rex Brothers about all the diners everywhere. He goes, "How do you know all these?" And Palau goes, "Come on, buddy, don't you just follow him around early in the morning. You'll get some greasy food."
He knows every diner in America. 3-0 on Maben. It's in there 3-1.
Mike from Parker asking our Toyota techs which one was faster, 2-seam or 4-seam. And quite honestly, the 4-seam is supposedly faster. It doesn't have any movement. It's straighter. That's not always the case. You'll see Guthrie throw a 92, 93 mile an hour sinker. You'll see a 4-seamer. Cut fastball, I add velocity to it. Mostly the 4-seamer will be harder than the 2-seam fastball.
Maben draws a walk.
Edgar Gonzalez started the second game of the doubleheader down in Springs. He was leading that ball game after 6, 3-1.
That humidor is working so far, George. Made a difference. The early returns.
They've only had one ball game that was a blowout. They gave up 10 hits, 10 runs in 3 1/3 innings, and that night the wind was just howling straight out. So it sure has.
Well, somebody had a question on De La Rosa. De La Rosa threw a simulated game today, a 60-pitch simulated game, as he continues on his road back. Josh Outman also a 30-pitch bullpen. Josh Outman was the left-handed pitcher that the Rockies picked up the Seth Smith deal with Guillermo Moscosis, who's pitching down in Colorado Springs. Outman looked like he was going to make the club, and then he got food poisoning toward the end of spring training, and that set him back. Looking out of the pen. When the Rockies do get De La Rosa back, you figure things out at that point. The question was about the rotation.
Mulligan got the win in that ball game in relief down in Colorado Springs. They ended up winning the game 3-2.
Watched him throw a little bit this spring. He's got a good arm, George.
Yeah, hard thrower. Combined 9 hits. The humidor is doing wonders. 8 hits, 17 total down there in 2 ball games. That was unheard of.
Yeah.
Combined between the two teams.
Pretty close play at first on Maben. Maben can run. 31 bags since the middle of last year, which is the best in baseball. And he got his hand in. That was even closer.
Yeah, and Guthrie didn't like the call of Joe West either.
It was the right call, though. See Dave Roberts, who was a tremendous base stealer, first base coach for Padres, holding that stopwatch. Oh, they got a chance at him. Got it! How about Guthrie? Persistence pays off. He picks off Cameron Maben. Fast feet from Jeremy Guthrie. See if the Rockies can get the sticks going. He gave up 5 runs in the first 4 innings. The Rockies, though, have done very little against Corey Lupke. That's starting to get somewhat late. 6th inning, bottom half of. The Rockies have 2, 3, and 4 in their order. Dexter Fowler, Troy Tulowitzki, and Todd Helton. You know, the Padres bullpen, you always think of the Padres, think, okay, not more of a light hitting team, but they play their games at Petco. They, generally speaking, get quality starts, good relief. Well, the relief's been outstanding, but the relief, talk about the phone ringing in the Rockies bullpen, it's rung even more frequently in San Diego's pen, George. They've had the most innings by a bullpen in baseball, right ahead of the Rockies coming into tonight. You wouldn't think of that generally with San Diego.
Yeah, both clubs. Obviously, starting pitching's got to do a little bit more to work deeper into these games. Lupke's been very efficient in this ball game. 81 pitches working here in the 6th. A little over 13 per inning. Ball's behind Dexter, 2-1.
Dexter's grounded into a force play twice. Get out of play.
They have shadowed everybody to the right side of second base and center field with Maybe. Lupke's done a nice job keeping the ball away or really hard on the fist end. Kind of drawing that straight line right up the middle of the field. You can see Maven stacked up right here. It's shading over a little bit in the outfield, not in the infield. Infield's pretty straight up.
Beat Dex down and in. It's a pitch he struggles with, particularly from the left side. 1 out, and that'll bring up Tulowitzki. He's hit it on the ground twice. 3 strikeouts for Corey Lupke.
Quick outs. That's what happens when you throw a lot of strikes up.
Well, 2 gone, and that'll bring up Helton. Todd a strikeout and a ground ball to short. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Rockies 3-3 so far in this 9-game homestand.
the last couple of days. Tulowitzki's moved to Gonzalez's spot, the 3 spot. Again, Cargo with strep throat the last couple of days. Wasn't even at the ballpark during the games. He's in the dugout tonight.
Look at the names on that list. All-time hits versus the Padres. Are you kidding me?
There's a real underrated guy on that list, and you know who I'm going to point to.
Who are you going to point to?
Dave Concepcion.
Todd Helton, 270 career, just 22 behind Pete Rose being the all-time leader. Everybody knows how many hits Pete Rose got in his career.
4,256.
That's a lot.
A lot. Todd's at cleanup. 506 games, 333 average, 102 home runs, 378 RBIs. I don't know why anybody would put him there.
Just wasn't thinking straight.
Good swing by Helton.
A lot of the same pattern here by Lukey on Helton. You remember when he struck him out, he went with 2 sliders, but the last more of a sweeper. He started out behind Helton and went off of the plate and was down. And he's giving him a couple of fastballs this time. One in the middle, one away. See if he goes to the breaking ball and runs the ball down and away. Whatever, it's going to be outside. Fastball elevated. They'll get Helton at first. Quick inning.
1, 2, 3 inning in the 6th. 5-1 Padres. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram. By the Courtyard by Marriott, Western elegance in the cultural heart of the city. And by Hyundai. Before new Hyundai owners even stepped off the lot, we asked them to tell us about the cars they just bought. You said it, we heard it in the booth. Georgie, I just read them, my friend.
Say that again.
Nope.
Okay.
Will Venable at the plate, a double, a ground ball to second, and he was hit by a pitch, hit by a 1-2 pitch. Popped up left side, Chris Nelson. Foul ground, 1 out. Let's check in with Mark Stout. Mark, what do you know?
You know what? I had a little quiz for Chase Headley in the Padres clubhouse earlier today. I said, hey, 10 years ago, do you remember?
Hold on
yeah?
a second. It's not just trivia for us. Now you can do trivia for the players as well, huh?
But, Drew, this was trivia about himself.
Oh, okay.
So I said, do you remember the first time you played at Coors Field? He said, yeah, it was 10 years ago. And I was in the seniors all-star game because he was playing for Fountain Fort Carson then. And he hit a home run here, and he told me that it was on a 1-1 count because what they did was they had the outfielders, pitchers, and infielders just all hit in the lineup, and he was playing second base. He got one at bat. You started with a 1-1 count, like softball. And he hit one out of here into the bullpen in right field. So that was the first time he was here at Coors Field. He remembered it like that.
I would hope he'd get that question right.
He did.
Very good, Mark.
That's pretty good research by Mark.
Mark and Dougie, I think they hang out there in the afternoon. They know every baseball website on 6 different continents. Two and 0 on Hermida. 6 doubles tonight for the Padres. That's in there, 2 and 1.
Change up, that's the ability to throw the secondary pitch behind in the count. 3 runs given up in the first 2 the next 4. Started to really utilize a lot of these pitches in both sides of the plate and down.
3 and 1. Hey, it's time for today's CenturyLink high-speed pitch. Fast speed and a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. Lupke and Guthrie have both topped the charts at 94 miles an hour. Well, Guthrie, George, the last 2+ innings has been far better than he was obviously in the first 4. This is a ground ball to Scudero. That's out number 2. Nick Hundley with 2 outs will come up with Headley at third base. I know you don't want to be down 5-1. The good news is here's a Rockies pitcher standing out there with 2 outs in the 7th inning.
Well, that's the really good news. That's a big part of what's going on here. Exactly right. Being able to save that bullpen a little bit, but you don't like to score 5-1. Only 8 hits given up by Guthrie. As we mentioned, 6 doubles. Lupke, just 4 hits in this ballgame. 2 of the 4 came in the 2nd inning when the Rockies put a run up on the board with Kadyr's double. Tyler Colvin with the base hit down the right field line.
And we'll see those 2 guys next half inning. Kadyr will lead it off. Good curveball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nick Hundley snapped an over 21 streak as a curveball to start the season yesterday, George, with an infield hit, and then he had an RBI double in the 1st inning. So his first clean hit of the year came tonight. The longest 0-for streak in Padre history to start the year by a Hall of Famer. And guess what? He's going to drive in another run. Single to left field. 2nd RBI of the night. That scores Headley, and it's 6-1. Ozzie Smith, when he played with the Padres, started the year 0 for 32. That was before your old friend Gary Templeton got traded to San Diego, and Ozzie Smith went to St. Louis.
Yeah, wow, 0 for 32. I think San Diego made a mistake. Could have had Helton and Ozzie Smith for a long time.
Gary Templeton, George, you played with him.
He's a really good player.
He's a really
tremendous
good player.
talent. First switch hitter in the history of the game to get 100 hits from both sides of the plate in a single season. There's only been one other one to do it, and that was Willie Wilson. Think about that, 100 hits both sides of the plate in a single season. And to top it off, he went right on right against Tom Seaver and was 3 for 4.
.2-0 on Alonso, 2-1.
Riddle's back up, was up earlier in the ball game when he ran into trouble. Back in the 4th inning.
On the ground is 2nd. Scudero flips to Helton. In the inning, a double by Headley, a 2-out single by Nick Hundley. Padres add another run on, 6-1. Kadyr will lead it off. down the first inning. After retiring one, it became double central for the San Diego Padres against Guthrie. Venable had a double, Headley had a double, Nick Hundley had a double. 2 runs would come in. In the second inning, Andy Perino led off with a double, and they scored another run. Rockies finally scored when Colvin brought home Kadire, who hit double. That's an error by Tulowitzki, which brought in a run. That was off the bat of Corey Lupke, and then Cameron Maben had an RBI single. You get the picture. It has not gone the Rockies' way tonight. 6-1, the Padres leading as the Rockies hit in the bottom of the 7th inning. Lupke has pitched exceptionally well. A 2-strike count on Kadire. Kadire had a 2-strike count, an 0-2 count, when he doubled down the third base line. So look at Jeremy Guthrie. Out of town scoreboard brought to you by Acura. Acura Advance. Washington wins. The Mets again over the Braves. They swept them to start the season. 1-1. Pittsburgh and Arizona in the bottom of the 3rd. Philadelphia has a 4-0 lead on Lincecum in the first inning.
Yeah,
George.
First inning. Yeah, how about that?
They got Roy Halladay on the hill.
Halladay will get his first career winner. He was 0-2, I should say, against him last year. Start out with here with his strikeout.
Number 4 is Kadire. He's caught looking. Detroit leading Kansas City late. Angels over Oakland in the 2nd inning, 3-0. Here's that pitch again on the Ford strike zone. It is close, but looked like it was just.
Well, hold it right there. Yeah, I mean, that ball's wide, and it started out here and it cut right at the last second. That's why Kadire's not happy with it.
Ramon Hernandez.
Looking back on the start by Lupke, there's only been 1 inning he's not retired to leadoff man. That was in the 3rd inning when Scooter walked, but was forced on a ground ball, hit to third base. Been a lot of areas for Jim Tracy to do anything, and you're down 5 runs.
Boy, that's well placed right there on the outside corner. Slider. 2-2.
First 10,000 this Tuesday. They're going to receive a Hebrew National hot dog coupon. Make sure you show up for that for the $1 hot dog night at the Yard. So get your tickets for tomorrow's ball game with this San Diego Padre club.
Fly ball right field.
Now he has surpassed his longest outing in his career, which was 7 1/3 innings on August the 1st last year against Los Angeles. Doug's shaking his hands now.
Oh, he's at 6 2/3.
I'm sorry, 6 2/3 now. Apologize. Why'd you give this to me now? You try to confuse me again, and that's not. That's really easy to do.
100 pitches for Lupke as Tyler Colvin will come up. Colvin, an RBI single in the 2nd. You saw a moment ago on the Cooney look back, and a strikeout the 5th inning.
He has really worked well with the down plane tonight. Big time.
Boy, that's smoked up the middle past second base umpire Manny Gonzalez.
What a nice surprise this kid's been. 333 on the year, 5 RBIs on the year with a home run. Just gets better. Average now 368 after that base hit.
And one of the things that Jim Tracy, and I was talking to him watching Tyler Colvin hit today before the ball game, one of the things he's filing away is he doesn't have to just say, well, it's a right-handed pitcher going, because he has swung the bat against lefties also. I mean, he keeps his shoulder.
Evidence of this right here.
Yeah.
2 hits today.
One of the things that he was pointing out during BP, how he really stays closed.
And a lot of times maybe it's not just the outs. I mean, it may end up in and out, I should say, when he swings the bat against a left-hander. That may happen. But it's how well he hit the ball. He's hitting 250, 1 for 4 before tonight against the left-hander. So now you can chalk it up to 3 for 7. Numbers are getting a lot better.
Nelson with 2 outs. Colvin at first.
Chris Nelson likes to pay for the fuel on the jet when the Padres come. 13 games in his career, he's just crushed the baseball. 4 doubles, 371 average. Slugging percentage of .545.
And the average will go up. Eric Young was in the on-deck circle. He's called back. And Jim Tracy talked about this during spring training. He will play the Giambi card here in the 7th inning. He said, I'm not always going to wait until the 9th inning.
And nor should he. You get that shot to go at him right here, and why not? He happens to hang a slider and leave it out over the plate. Giambi launches. You're talking about a guy that was an everyday player, so forget about the left-on-left stuff.
Luke Gregerson, one of their setup men. Firing away Darren Balsley. Giambi's 1 for 5 against Lupke. He struck out 3 times, but the one was a long ball.
One thing this ball club has responded to this year, meaning the Colorado Rockies, is they've hit .341 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. A year ago, a dismal .234.
Colvin at second, Nelson at first. And Giambi bounces it foul. Padres 4 for 11 tonight with runners in scoring position. Not many opportunities for the Rockies. Lupke 106 pitches in. No shift on. 0-2.
A little bit elevated though. That didn't have the big tilt and sweep to it. A little shorter, a little tighter. More velocity at 87. Trying to stay away from Giambi's power when you're left on left. That's the inner half.
Not surprisingly, he tried to go to the sweeper again, then slider. Shot the finally called for one more time. He called for it. It's ripped to right. It is a foul ball. That one didn't have bite, and the big man got the barrel to it.
Well, freeze it out front, you'll see it. That ball's right out in the middle of the plate and hung about belt high. Jason just got a little swing happy there, couldn't wait on it. See, they're wanting that thing all the way down here. Look where the pitch on contact comes into play. Let that thing roll a little bit farther. See where that pitch is? Right here in the middle of the plate, playing right into the power of Jason Giambi.
Hitting there just to keep the AB alive.
All around the strike zone with this thing. Here it is on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. Slider away. See Giambi out on that front foot, but really kept his head quiet so he could make contact with the pitch. There wasn't a whole lot he could do with it.
Two. Pitch didn't miss by much. See it at the top right of the Ford strike zone.
7th pitch coming up to Giambi. It's been mostly sliders. 1 fastball. First pitch for a strike to hit.
And this will be his last hitter either way. He's at 111 pitches. Scutaro on deck, hoping for an opportunity. 7th inning, 6-1 Padres. There's Marco. ground ball fair. Alonso steps on the bag, and the Rockies will leave 2 on in the 7th inning. 6-1 Padres. This season by following Root Sports on Facebook and Twitter. We want to hear from you as the Rockies kick off the 2012 season at home. Visit RockyMountain.rootsports.com for more information.
I'm telling you, look at the Texan going on here. There's a war going on with that fingers. Look at this.
Well, this is what I don't get.
Well, I'm just telling you, wait a minute. If they're under 16, you got no shot.
What do you mean if they're under 16?
They'll text you, and they'll do more words per minute than you can type.
I don't think the young
they got
ladies
a double
on the
thumb
end
going.
look like they're 16.
They got a double thumb going thing. I'm talking about down here. The ones over here are all Texan.
Okay, here's the deal, though. They all go to the ball game together.
You're right.
Want to have a nice time. Ladies' night at the ballpark.
They're texting each other.
And it looks like they are because they're all laughing.
Oh, boy.
Andy Perino will lead off. Matt Reynolds will take over for Jeremy Guthrie here in the 8th inning. It'll be the 5th appearance for Reynolds. Perino is 1 for 3. Guthrie gave the Rockies much needed length out of a starter. Unfortunately, he gave up 6 runs on 9 hits. Walked 1, struck out 1. Also hit a batter. The rotation ERA was an unsightly 6.49 coming in. There's a solid single. And it has moved up to 680.
Bullpen on the other side of those things been pretty good this year. You think about it, 3-1 overall record. That's tied for 3rd in the National League. The ERA at 2.50. They've got 3 saves. That's 4th in the National League. And it's been a combined effort by everybody in that bullpen.
Jason Bartlett a walk, a double, and a ground ball to second.
There hasn't been a blip work out of that bullpen. Thinking back at it, hardly at all.
And what you're seeing here is Yoli Chacin throw a bullpen.
Exactly.
It was pushed back. He's not warming up to come in this baseball game. The Rockies, because they have not gotten starting pitching any length for a week, they held Chacin's bullpen, which would have occurred earlier in the afternoon, back just in case they would need him, and then his bullpen would actually come out on the field, and it's not unheard of. Every once in a while you have to do that. You hope not to go in that direction. That's why Chacin is in the bullpen now, throwing. 2-2 on Bartlett.
Taylor made.
Yeah. There's one, and there's two.
Tell you what, Troy handled this ball pretty well because it looked like when it's hit. Now watch when it gets out to him. Right there at the very end, kind of take a low dive on him. See, watch his hand reaction to this thing. Stayed down on it, and it started to come up, anticipating that hop. Luckily, Troy stayed down a little bit longer and caught that baseball, made a nice turn on the double play with Scudero.
Jesus Guzman will pinch hit for Lupke. Swung on and missed. Guzman punished the Rockies a couple times last year. This is the first time he has played at Coors Field. He's batting clean up the first 7 games of the year. Dyer's going to run to the wall and have to stop. Who Wants Tacos fans? If you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more runs for the Rockies Tacos special, text keyword taco to 720-720. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. Six runs on 10 hits for the Padres, a run on 6 hits for the Rockies. Guzman last year, 247 at bats for San Diego, hit .312, 5 home runs. He drove in 44. As a minor league free agent about 16 months ago. He'd been up briefly a few years ago with San Francisco. How about this? Last year he hit .431 with runners in scoring position. And a base hit.
Glad they turned the double play earlier.
Saw Mike Owings in the Padres bullpen, former Diamondback, among other teams. Cameron Maybin up for the 5th time. Strikeout, sac fly, single and a ribby and a walk. Two and nothing. And 3-0. Padres playing 13 straight against National League West teams to begin the season. That's in there. Lupke threw 112 pitches, 74 strikes. 3-2. Lupke gave up just 1 run in 7 innings on 6 hits. Second straight outstanding performance at Coors Field by Lupke. Had a gem here in September where he allowed just 1 hit in 7 innings.
All 7 innings for him. He retired the leadoff man, except for one where he had a walk, and then 1 pitch later it was a double play. Good sinker away, got the punch out.
Yep, so Reynolds comes all the way back and gets Maben. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Top of the order for the Rockies, trailing by 5. First of 3 between the Rockies and Friars. Lower downtown Denver, and this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Rockies. Well, in the bottom of the 8th inning, the Rockies will have the top of the order, and they'll see Andrew Cashner in his first year with San Diego. He came from the Cubs in a trade that featured Anthony Rizzo, who pretty well thought of prospect from Boston. He was originally dealt from Boston to San Diego in the Adrian Gonzalez deal.
Young kid, got a great arm. Throws the ball extremely hard, but you can see the walk's already playing an issue here. He's only given up 2 hits in 5 2/3, but he has walked 6 and given up a home run. He has the type of arm that'll end up being a closer for somebody someday.
Padres, going back to the Kevin Towers years, and now Josh Burns running things as the general manager, have always had a good bullpen. So Scudero against Cashner. And there's that heavy fastball at 98. That was easy.
I don't know how heavy it was. It was fast.
Yeah. Well, it had some downward movement.
It got there in a hurry.
Guys who have easy heat. He's not grunting. Pretty smooth on the ground toward the hole and on through a base hit on another 98-mile-an-hour fastball. So Scudero has been on 3 times this evening, 2 hits and a walk. And that'll bring up Dexter Fowler.
You know what, when you're throwing this hard, just try to place it somewhere. Kind of looks like what he did there. A little bailout with that front side, inside out swing. Shot it out of the reach of everybody for a base hit to right.
Cashner was once drafted, did you know this, George, by the Colorado Rockies?
16th round, I think, wasn't it?
Actually close, 18th round in 2006. He was drafted 4 times. You say, well, how can that be? He was drafted out of high school. He was drafted out of junior college. He was drafted out of junior college again. Then he went on to TCU, and you're eligible at your 21st birthday or after your junior year to be drafted again. That's when he was taken by the Cubs in the 1st round. So the Braves, Rockies, and Cubs twice drafted him. Kept waiting and waiting, and he made a good decision. Finally went round number one. There's a whole lot more money in round number one.
Well, part of it was, too, he always demonstrated a pretty good arm, just never demonstrated being able to throw the ball in the strike zone. Now, all of a sudden, it is starting to get a little more frequent there at the minor league level. The fall league did a lot of work for him, and a lot of good, as it does for a lot of the young pitchers when he went back out to the Arizona Fall League last year and through.
Just missed. 3-1. .97-98 consistently from Andrew Cashner.
$21,547 in the house tonight to watch these two teams go at it.
Three and two on Fowler. Tulowitzki's next. Ball four. And now the Rockies have two on and nobody out. And Huntfield going to visit with Cashner. That last pitch, George, was 100 miles an hour. Wasn't a strike, though.
Oh, I'm glad you threw 100. Too bad it didn't get the zone. And that's kind of one of those deals, you know. There's guys that throw really hard. If you figure it out and get it in the zone, it's pretty good. Brian Anderson, the latest victim of all that, averaged 101 miles an hour, and he's still hunting for a job at the big league level.
Tulowitzki, a 5-4-3 double play, ground ball to short, and also a ground ball to third. For three tonight. And that was 101. That's some serious gas.
That's a lot of gas. That's not fair. 101 mile an hour heater, 87 mile an hour slider.
Here's the 0-2. Back to the slide. Houston Street's on the right. Luke Gregerson on the left. Those new red lines, George, when you get to triple digits.
I know they flash it above, you know, it's 95 and above, it flashes, but at 100 it turns bright red.
105, the thing blows up like Mission Impossible, just dissolves. 2-2 count, but it could count for Troy. Back to the slider and got him. One out. And that'll bring up Helton.
Just a nasty pitch. It's that late dip coming right out of the hand. You're going to see it on the Max Shaw Subaru Super Bowl right here.
That's a changeup, actually. That's not a slider.
The pitch they haven't shown yet. It's been slider fastball up to 100, slider 87, straight change that time.
And then he went back to it. Todd a punch out and 2 ground balls. Rockies have been limited to 7 hits. He's just working at 100 right now. He's sitting on it.
Last year, he went to the fall league. They want to try to get better command out of him. 8 2/3, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks. That was all pretty good. Trouble was, he gave up 14 hits, 12 runs, had a 12.46 earned run average over 9 games for the Mesa Solar Sox. The Rockies group at Salt River Field Raptors won it all.
Getting fatigued though, George. That was just 99.
Kind of tired. I always wanted to be 99.
Scudero at second, Fowler at first. Rockies trailing 6-1. Infield fly rule in effect. 2 outs.
Well, a lot of hitters will tell you too, when a guy's throwing really, really hard, they'd actually rather face that guy than a trickster, because they know what's coming. Now it's just adjusting the speed and the speed with the bat, to catch up to them.
Sure, but to his credit, George, all of a sudden with Tulowitzki, he showed a couple sliders and then the straight changeup. So now, if you're Todd Helton, when he's watching on deck, it puts that other element in your mind.
Yeah, that changeup particularly.
Kadire, a double, a line out, and he was caught looking. On the outside corner. That's a good pitch. Michael's one of those guys, it's not unusual. He puts a ton of pine tar in the middle of his bat. Remember, he's throwing some bats in a bag that he just worked on for a little spring training road trip across town. And then the clubbies wanted to go near the bats. There was so much pine tar on it. This is bounce to second. Now Cashner allowed a hit and a walk, and then got Tulowitzki, Helton, and Kadire in succession. We'll go to the 9th. Padres leading by a 5 spot. Late night craving, so stop by Jack in the Box, where the entire menu is available all day long. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at southwest.com. Rockies down 6-1 at 20th, and Blake We've arrived at the top of the 9th inning, handling center field duties on the Toyota postgame show. Our Jenny Kavnar. Hey, Jenny.
Hey, Drew. Yeah, coming up in the Toyota postgame show, we'll talk about the Padres starter. He was Jiffy Lubke tonight. That's right. Corey Lubke made quick of the Rockies offense. As for the Rockies starter, he got into some double trouble. Jeremy Guthrie giving up 6 extra base hits. We'll break down both of the starting pitchers, and as always, we'll get downstairs into the clubhouse and hear from the manager, Jim Tracy. It's all coming up on the Toyota postgame show. But, Drew, you can never count out rally ball, right?
Never. Little Loto magic. You never know what will arise. Tyler Chatwood's going to throw the top of the 9th inning. It'll be the 4th appearance for the 22-year-old Southern California.
Well, in one ball game, got after him a little bit. 6 strikeouts, just a walk over those 7 innings. 8 hits given up, 1 home run. First batter efficiency, you know, that was one big number that came in for me, and that's one thing Lubke did. 6 out of 7 innings. Impressive number. Something Chatwood would like to see get increased above 33%.
Chatwood will face Will Venable, Chase Headley, Jeremy Hermida, 2, 3, and 4 in the Padres lineup. Roy Halladay and Tim Lincecum out San Francisco. Lincecum gave up 4 in the first. It's now 4-1 Philadelphia in the third. Here's the 1-0 to Venable.
Trying to slap that thing to the right side by Chris Nelson. Left-handed bat up. Hilton's a little tight at first. Prevent a double, but Nelson's off the bag over at third.
Todd's got it. Guides it over nicely to Tyler Chatwood. You can talk about glove work all you want. Watch Helton's footwork. You feel the baseball ultimately using your feet. And then the nice little option pitch, he led Chatwood beautifully. There's never been, at least in the last 20 years, a smoother first baseman than Helton. There's some good ones. JT Snow was really good. He has since hung up the spikes.
Well, Albert Pujols pretty good too at first base over there. For this, it was with St. Louis, now with the Angels. Did a pretty good job of things over there. Gonzalez, the Padres.
Yeah, Adrian Gonzalez.
Now with Boston. Been a little competition of first baseman over there to
Derek Lee was good.
Get some things.
Derek Lee, very good first baseman also. Headley a pair of doubles in 4 trips. A career .303 road average for Headley. It's 4th among active players. Long way to left. And this is off the wall. He's going to have his 3rd double of the ball game. He's used the whole ballpark tonight.
Yeah, he sure has. I mean, thinking about this, when he hit that ball, kind of Old Coors Field look to it. I thought this ball was going to be a fly ball to Tyler Coleman, if anything. And worst thing, maybe get into foul territory. Carries all the way off the wall out there, about halfway up the wall. 212 average when he got here. He had a lot of RBIs coming in, 9 total on the season. Started tonight with 8.
2-0 on Hermida. 6 runs, 12 hits now for the Padres. 7 doubles. Their club record's 9. They set that 5 years ago in a ball game in Cincinnati.
Quick note, Tyler Matzek's working into his 4th inning in Modesto tonight. He's given up 4 hits and a run, struck out 3. They're leading 3-1 at this time against Inland Empire. The ball club has struggled so far to a 2-7 record there in Modesto.
But Matzek's been good in his first 2 starts. Looks like so far he's building on that tonight.
Unfortunately, nothing to show for it. He was 0-2 because the ball club hadn't scored a lot of runs. So kind of the lone hitter out there really singing about Will Dickerson, who hit a bunch of home runs in Asheville a year ago.
2 outs. Kadire making the catch. Nick Hundley coming up.
Hey, the Dugout Stores, that's right. Rockies Dugout Stores have everything to get you ready for Purple Mondays and beyond. 303-832-TEAM for more store information.
How'd the crowd do with Purple Mondays today?
There's a lot of purple over here. I'm looking out of our window right now down
look
through.
At that group.
Quite a bit of purple down there.
The ushers really did a good job.
They have been for quite some time. Did you notice they wear purple all the time? Since 1993 when it's chilly,
right?
they give them a purple coat. You didn't know that?
I just noticed that. That's a little high. 2-0.
Wow, step out. That's the high school letter jacket.
Yeah,
from
is that Littleton? Line drive, fair ball, right field. And that'll bring home the 7th run as Headley scores on the base hit by Nick Hundley. Well, Nick Hundley's had a breakout ball game. He started the year 0 for 21. We discussed that. Infield hit yesterday. 3 solid hits here this evening. Isn't it amazing? An infield hit can get you going.
3 RBIs to go along with those 3 for 5 nights so far.
Yeah.
A couple of singles, a double. Driven in 3. Fastball ran back to the middle, a little bit elevated. Swing hard and hope something good happens, and it did. Over the head of Todd Helton and out into the outfield. The runner comes around to score. I don't think enough gets said about Bob Apodaca and the job he's done in the tenure he's been here. Came in by Clint Hurdle. You know, and you think a couple of years where they've had set career, or I should say, club records for lowest earned run average. A lot of these young pitchers this year, the work's cut out for Bob.
Ball 1 on Yonder Alonso. Well, Dusty Baker had him in Cincinnati. They're trying to figure out, George, where to play him. Left field, third base.
Well, I always got a kid at Dusty. I said, one good place to put him is probably hitter, because he does a pretty good job of that most nights. Very good looking young hitter.
Well, he drives this one to left center field for a base hit. That is 14 hits now for San Diego. That's his 2nd hit of the ninth. That'll bring up Andy Perino. Perino swung it well, George. A double and a single in 4 trips.
Yes, he has. And the Padres have done a good job with runners in scoring position tonight. 5 for 13, where the Rockies struggled a little bit. 1 for 7. Bob continues to make notes in that pitching notebook. Here's the numbers with runners in scoring position.
The only regular who has not produced a hit for the Padres tonight, actually, the only regular is Jeremy Hermida. Corey Lupke had a sac bunt. He also reached on an error by Tulowitzki, and then Jesus Guzman pinch hit for him in the 8th with a base hit. Hermida's 0 for 5. Padres on their way to snapping a 4-game losing streak. Chatwood behind 3-1. Run on 3 hits in the inning against Tyler Chatwood. Utley and Alonso on. The outside corner, 94 miles an hour with some tail. You see the movement there. You see what gets the Rockies excited. It's just being able to replicate that, George.
Yeah, I mean, he's had that really good outing where he went out and saved the bullpen. 3-inning save in that one game, 16-8 against the Giants. You see him try to accomplish that every time he goes out, making good pitches. Another fastball on the hands to him at 94 miles an hour. Stuff works great. If he gets ahead in the count, it works a whole lot better.
Got him. In the inning, a run on 3 hits. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning. It is 7-1 Padres. There's a revelation for you. If you started saving for your kids' college dreams yet, I hope you have, but if you haven't, listen up. Let College Invest help you get you started. You can deduct your contributions on your Colorado income taxes, which are due tomorrow, by the way. And you can use your College Invest savings anywhere in the country, coast to coast. Get started today at collegeinvest.org. Mike Owings going to take over for the Padres here in the 9th inning. Ramon Hernandez will be up first for the Rockies. Rockies have 1 run in the ball game. Came back in the 2nd inning. Base hit by Tyler Colvin to drive in Michael Kadire, who had doubled at the time. It made the score 3-1, but the Padres have added on. Corey Lupke went 7 innings, allowed 1 run on 6 hits.
Well, what it boiled down to last year for Arizona, they just did not want to go to arbitration against Michael Owings. He had a heck of a year for them. 8-0, 33 games, only 4 games started, 63 innings, 56 hits. Pitched very well, just 8 home runs given up, working mostly out of their bullpen, and did a wonderful job for them. So as a result of that, he became a free agent with only 4 years. And Bud Black looking to help out this bullpen, to strengthen it with the loss of Heath Bell and a couple other guys. And let's go to this guy here. Throws a lot of strikes. He's around the plate, and obviously played for a winner a year ago. with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he gets the first out here. Fernandez in the ninth.
And you know what? If he's pitched a lot, you can always use him as a pinch hitter.
He can swing the bat really well.
Best hitting pitcher in baseball. Tyler Colvin with one out. Tomorrow's pitching matchup, Anthony Bass will go for San Diego, and Jamie Moyer is 0-2, but has a 4.22 ERA, and that 4.22 ERA is the best among the starting rotation for the Rockies right now.
Still trying to get that elusive win. Hopefully tomorrow will be his day. Bass, 2 career wins at the big league level. Who are they against? You're guessing right, Doug. The Rockies. 27-19. It's minor league level. He's pitched well out of the bullpen. Dustin Mosley went on the DL, so that's why Bass came out of the bullpen and now going to make that start tomorrow. He's made one already, but he's making tomorrow's start instead of Mosley.
Two-strike count on Tyler. And Micah Owings strikes out Colvin. We're talking about Micah being a good hitter. Here's his career numbers offensively. 283, 9 home runs, 35 RBIs. He's done a lot of pinch hitting in his career.
You know, if he does get tired of pitching, I wonder if they could make a first baseman out of him and do a little Rick Ankiel thing. What do you think?
Not out of the question. And he's legit. Chris Nelson, a good night. 2 hits. One time they got him out, George. Remember, he drove Cameron Maben back near the warning track at center field. The wind was howling in. He's found the barrel 3 times tonight. Two-strike count. And that's all for the Rockies. They lose tonight 7-1 to San Diego. Corey Lupke, the story. 1 run on 6 hits. The losing pitcher, Jeremy Guthrie, he went 7 innings, gave up 6 runs on 9 hits, walked 1 and struck out 1. So Lupke's 1-1. Guthrie is now 1-1. Tonight's delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. Visit jimmyjohns.com to find a location near you. Well, Corey Lupke is not afraid of pitching in Coors Field. He's pitched well here in the past. Back in September, he threw a 7-inning, 1-hit job at the Rockies, and tonight in 7 innings, a run on 6 hits. So Corey Lupke dominant tonight. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. 7-1 final. San Diego wins it. They're now 3-8. The Rockies 4-6. The Toyota postgame show's up next.